You can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you would like to listen in a still position, feel free to take all the time you need to arrive there and allow yourself to fidget or adjust or stretch or move in whatever ways your body wants to move. Doing your best to not think about the movements or what they look like, but coming into your sense of feeling and just following those yummy sensations that you may feel when you do some neck rolls or side body bends or lift the arms overhead for a big morning stretch. And feel that space between your hip bones and the bottom of your rib cage. Feeling that space getting longer as you give your organs lots of space. And if what feels best in your body at any point is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. So you can continue to move throughout this practice. Anytime you feel the need to adjust yourself in any way, you may do so. You're not messing anything up if you need to move. This practice is about you listening to yourself and your feelings and observing yourself in the moment that you're in. And so if your leg is getting numb and you need to move it, then listening to that as well. And not forcing yourself to be uncomfortable. But finding that place where you're relatively comfortable and feeling that the spine is relatively straight, in whatever position you're in. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you now mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full and intentional cleansing breath. As you call in fresh new air into the body and almost watch yourself as you fill up to every corner and edge of you. And you hold that for a moment once you're full to experience this sense of fullness. And without straining as you need to, slowly letting all of that go. Exhaling bit by bit as you gently pull the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to now experience this sense of emptiness and allowing your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And you can breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful to you. Not worrying about the length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just letting each of these 4 parts of your breath be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. So when the body naturally would stop inhaling, seeing if you can expand your belly just a tiny bit more to take in 1 more moment's worth of air. And when you would naturally roll over to your exhale, seeing if you can hold off on that for 1 extra moment to stay in that fullness and experience that fullness. And then as you need to, letting it all go. And even when you think you're empty, seeing if you can push out 1 more bit of air and stay in that emptiness for an extra moment before allowing your next breath to come. As we intentionally, consciously slow down the breath. Therefore, communicating to our nervous system, to our body, that now is a time to slow down. Maybe if you're in a place right now where you feel very scattered, maybe it feels as if your energy is all over the place, far away from you in all these different directions. You can use your inhales as a time to envision that all of your energy going to all the different things are individual strings coming away from your body. And as you inhale, you call these strings back to you. You turn this energy back around and bring it all back to your body. And as you exhale, this focus, this energy settles within your body, grounding you down to exactly where you are. Just calling your own energy back to you. And at any point, if you haven't already, you can release this guidance over your breath altogether as you step almost back and up in the mind and into the role of the observer or the witness. As you remember that our breath is the only bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. And so letting go of that voluntary guidance we just had over the breath, as you now take a step back and simply observe the automatic process that is your body breathing you. Remembering how your body does breathe all on its own, even when you're in a deep state of sleep. And so seeing if you can watch your body breathing, watch your gentle breath, the same way you would watch waves as they roll up along the shoreline. Not trying to change anything about the size or speed of the waves, but just watching as each one comes and goes at its own gentle pace. And making note of any tension that you feel in the face to start. And even with the eyes closed, if you were to catch a glimpse of yourself in a mirror, what expression would be resting there, if any? And what emotions could be communicated by this resting expression? Maybe the brow is tense, or the eyelids could be squeezing shut. Maybe the nostrils flared, or the jaws tense, or even the chin and ears hold some tension at times. And so just allowing your awareness of this tension be all that you need to instead allow the muscles of the face to soften Maybe opening and closing the mouth a few times before finding that middle ground where the jaw is hanging into place. The tongue releases from the roof of the mouth as the lips rest softly on one another. And even the corners of the mouth soften a bit further. And letting that sense of release in the mouth naturally release more tension in your chin, releasing the nostrils, as the softness will naturally spread outward and upward in the face as the cheeks soften a bit further. The ears, all of those tiny muscles that exist along the lash line that scrunch up when you squint, even feeling those soften. As the corners of your eyes just get a tiny bit wider, simply with this release. Even feeling your eyeballs just resting in their sockets as your gaze softens as well, wherever it is you happen to be looking, whether that be at the world outside of you or at the world inside of you. Maybe at the backs of the eyelids, or maybe peering up into the forehead. As you feel your hairline soften back a bit further, and any remaining tension in the eyebrows and forehead release. As you allow your forehead to be wide and deep, maybe looking into this space. Just noticing anything at all that you can see. And just noticing. Even if it is darkness, looking into that darkness. And releasing any desire or want to see anything specific. And instead become curious about what it is that is here to see. And even feeling now your brain resting in the skull. As you feel any and all tension across the scalp naturally release, as even the shoulders become heavier, the arms and the hands become heavy and soft. As you bring more of your attention now into your own heart. As you gradually call more and more of your attention to focus on your own heart. Maybe even placing one or both hands on top of the heart to encourage that feeling from the outside as well, if that feels good. But gradually sinking more of your awareness up with the rhythm of your own heartbeat. As you allow your entire body now to soften beneath this steady rhythm and the safety that comes included in your own heart. Releasing your body fully into the surface that's beneath you. As you feel your pelvic floor lengthen and widen, your glutes soften, as you just allow yourself to be held by the surface beneath you. Feeling a sense of trust with your own anatomy. Remembering that when you fully let go, every single night when you go to sleep, when you fully let go, everything is held where it needs to be. Everything functions perfectly to keep you alive. The safety that comes included in your own anatomy, and that comes included with gravity and the earth. When you soften your body and mind, you will not be crushed and you will not float away, but you will be held exactly where you need to be. And as you remember your own heart, this steady, constant beating that has been the steady background beat to every single moment of your life, from before you were even breathing air, from the time you were in your mother's womb up to this exact moment, this heart has been pumping life into you. This heart feeds this life into your entire body. Remembering your own anatomy and how this heart is physically connected to every inch of you through pathways of veins and vessels. Your heart is beating in your toes, in your fingertips, in the tip of your head, and every inch in between. And this heart will continue to work hard for you for as long as you exist in this body. And this heart is your own personal and direct line of connection to whatever source or force out there allows all of our hearts to beat. You are directly connected to the source that all of life comes from. Whatever that may be, or whatever you believe that to be, you are connected to it because you are alive. You are an extension of it. And there's nothing that you can say or do that will take that away. There's nothing anyone else can say or do that will take that away. That is a gift that comes included in all of our lives. And this is also a gift that we will forget. And we are not meant to remember every single moment of every single day. But each and every time we take a step back out of the chaos of our own lives and remember just how magical and wonderful it is that we even exist, that any of this exists. It can be so easy to fall into the routines, to the mundane, and we are meant to. But every time that we can remember to take a step back and look around, there is magic and wonder everywhere. And there's also a lot of pain and sorrow. Life consists of all things, good and bad, painful and wonderful. And so much of our own suffering comes from a false expectation that we have to never feel bad. Or we believe that when we do feel bad, it means we've done something wrong. Or we're being punished for something. But if we can remember that everything in life experiences pain and sorrow, as well as joy, love, and connection. And we are not meant to erase all bad feelings. We are not meant to only ever experience the good. We are simply meant to experience our own individual human experience. And so you can allow yourself to fully feel all of the things that you feel. Your feelings mixed with your own thoughts, mixed with what your senses take in, and all your experiences combined create an entirely unique human experience. And there will be times where this experience feels or is overwhelming and chaotic and scary. And through all of it, we have our steady heartbeat within us. We have our steady reminder of our own life and our connection to the source of all life. And we can trust that everything happens exactly as it's meant to happen, even the really horrible parts of life. And we are not meant to fight the waves. We are not meant to stop waves from crashing down. Because if you remember the ocean, that is impossible. We will never be able to stop the cycle of life and the waves that crash. But we can learn to ride them with a bit more ease. And we can ride our own individual waves with a bit more ease just by being in touch with our own self, with our own heart, and with the things that light up that spark within you. Whatever it is that really fuels you, that you feel passionate about, that fascinates you, that almost maybe feels like a magnetic force drawing you toward it. The urges of words you have to speak or write. The urges you get of things to share and things to fight for that you believe in and that you feel passionate about. These are all things that we can and I believe should turn our focus toward and revolve our life around. The things that make you feel alive and feel like life is worth living, to experience these things. And like you will experience the pain and sorrow for all of these things, whatever they may be. And just know that small and daily actions that better support your own well-being, your own health, your love, your fascinations, your interests, small daily actions that focus more on these things will gradually create a life that feels wonderful for you and for others in your world. And just be so, so patient and kind to yourself through this journey. There will be bad times. There will be times where we feel lost and scared and hurt. And there will also be lovely, wonderful times where we feel joy and connection. And just know that each time you're in a darker phase of life, it's part of that phase to feel like this is how it's always been and how it always will be. Our emotions have a way of tricking us that this is how we've always felt and this is how we always will feel. And when you're feeling bad, you can't possibly imagine feeling good again. But you can remember that the same is true for those really good stages of life, where we can't ever imagine feeling bad. And we feel like we've always felt this way and we always will feel this way. And neither of those thoughts are true. The only thing that is true is that everything changes. And so you can allow yourself, give yourself permission to fully feel all of the bad things, as well as all of the good things. Allow yourself to cry, to scream into a pillow, to punch a pillow, to run around, to do whatever emotional release your experience is calling for. Knowing that you will not drown, you will not float away, you will not be crushed. The storm will pass. Every storm runs out of rain. And you can also release any guilt that may be present when you feel good when others are suffering. And instead, use that goodness that you feel to shine that light for others who are suffering. And the analogy that comes from Hellenistic astrology of the sun and moon is a very powerful reminder of this for me, where the moon is the representation of our physical body. Just like our body, the moon is simply matter. It does not give off its own light, but it is illuminated by, animated by the sun, which is the representation of our own soul, the spark that enters our body when we're born and leaves it when we die. the spark within us that brings our body to life. And there will be times where the moon is fully illuminated. And when we are fully illuminated and where we feel bright and whole and like we're capable of shining light for others in the darkness. And there will be other times where we are more like a new moon, where the moon is still there, but it's not reflecting any light. It's completely in the shadows. And then there will be all those phases in between, both extremes. And we don't assume there's something wrong with the moon when it's in the shadows. And so we don't need to assume there's anything wrong with people, with us, with ourselves and others when we are in darkness. It's simply another phase we will experience. Everyone will experience. And the moon will never get stuck at one phase. The moon isn't supposed to be full all of the time. Flowers are not meant to be in bloom all of the time. Everything in life moves through seasons of death and decay. And so will we. So you can just take one more moment to re-soften your body and your face and all of the muscles that are within you. And allow yourself to be exactly who you are right now. Knowing that it is necessary, or it is possible, I guess, for you to love yourself, accept yourself fully for who you are right now, while at the same time having aspirations and goals to be someone different, or to be another version of you. And no matter what we do, we will always transform into new versions of ourselves. You can't stop change from happening. It will always be happening, and we can learn to ride the waves and accept the change rather than fight against it or try to stop a wave from crashing, which will only make you roll over, probably hit your head on the ocean floor, and experience more pain and suffering. But maybe we can learn to sync ourselves up with the timing of our change and ride things out. So just take a moment now to simply allow every single word you've heard today, every single feeling you've felt today, to just settle. Almost as if every word and feeling was a little speck of glitter in a snow globe. And you are the snow globe, and now is the time where we set you down, let the glitter settle, and let the air clear. I'm just trusting that anything at all that you heard today that resonated with you, rang true in some way. Trusting that that feeling sometimes comes when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. And so allowing these truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. You already know all it is that you need to know. And so if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can allow your hands to find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you feel this contact of your palms and fingers to one another, and you feel your heart lift toward your thumbs as your thumbs press back toward your heart. As you once again feel all of this power generated through you. And calling in one final deep and full breath into the body, filling up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. So you take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.